So, and with that, welcome to an overview of the Nebulous Fleet Command Steam Real-Time Strategy Fest demo. Yeah, I don't know if it's like different from the Steam Deck Fest demo, but we'll see. Welcome to the Nebulous Fleet Command demo. This demo build is intended to give you a taste of the complex ship control and battle mechanics found in the game. The tutorial is available under the single player menu. Single player and multiplayer skirmish battles are locked in this demo, but once you've gotten your fleet wet in the tutorial, you can play around in the fleet editor to see the breadth of fleet configurations available. Please keep in mind this game is early access and still in active development. Thanks for trying. Single player. I think maybe campaign tutorial. Fleet Academy tutorial. In the Alliance system of Emit Time, Bradford Naval Academy is the first stop in naval careers of fresh officers, where grueling lessons and lightly practical trials are held to shape future spaces into prime officer material. How to shape future spacers into prime officer material. Okay. As far as I know, in the full game there is intended to be, I think, I have to put down the audio a little bit. Let's have the music more down. I think that should be now okay. Okay, that's... Okay, let's get started. Yeah, as far as I know, there is intended to be like a full-fledged campaign, I think, with the persistent fleet. And a co-op kind of campaign thing, not like a full-on co-op campaign, but like where you have multiple battles back to back. Yeah. Select. Okay, there are multiple lessons in this one. Okay, lesson 1, interface and basic maneuvering. Among the most important lessons is effective fleet management, where knowing how to properly maneuver individual ships and assigning formations can create an effective force when in battle. Okay, select. Okay, mission summary, Alliance Network, internal message servers. All messages are monitored. You have one message from Hazel. Welcome to Bradford, Commander. I'm Lieutenant Hazel, and I have been assigned as your instructor to get you up to speed with the command interface on your warship. Lieutenant Meadows was reassigned to train pilots and carrier commanders, so I will be guiding you through your standard trials. To start, we will be getting you familiar with the controls and how to actually command a warship, and I will be with you in the CIC. I'll meet you on board, Hazel. We have 2 Rainer's class frigates. One has a bullseye radar. I think that was a like more of a short range radar, and the jammer, a blanket jammer. I think when I saw it in the shipbuilder is for multi-spectrum jamming. Each of them, one has 2 cannons and 1 VLS launcher, and one has 1 cannon and 2 VLS launcher. But they are from the same class. Okay, interesting. And start. Okay.
Commander, I'm Lieutenant Hazel. I'll be guiding you through the trials to determine if you're cleared for operations. The brass has their eyes on you, so try not to embarrass me. Let's get you familiar with the view controls first. Hold down the left mouse button and drag the mouse to angle your view.
Left.
Now use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out. And most importantly, moving the view. Use W, A, S, and D to pan the view. E and C will raise and lower your view in the battle space, respectively. And that's it. Let's move on to the actual interface. We're going to select one of our ships now, so sit tight. You can select a ship either by clicking on its icon in the battle space, selecting it in the ship list, or pressing its corresponding number key indicated in the ship list.
Got you 5x5.
You've selected a ship. Now if you want to focus your view on the ship, you can use the F key. You can also do this by double tapping the ship's number key to both select and focus on the ship at the same time. When focused, your view will automatically track the selecting unit until you move the view.
Got you 5x5.
F for follow. Yep, makes sense.
This ship in particular is the Rains-class frigate. It's the most common warship in the fleets, with a generous balance of speed, agility, armoring, and some good room for a good mix of support modules and weapon systems.
Okay.
You'll also see at the bottom of the screen a readout of the selected ship. This is the ship information bar, and it's a list of the status of modules, weapons, current orders, and a general posture of the warship.
Okay.
This window is the damage control status board, and it'll be one of the most important items when in battle, as it shows the condition of all modules on the ship as a color gradient. Green means functional and undamaged, while red means heavy damage. A destroyed module or weapon is indicated in gray.
Okay.
Damage control is a whole can of worms, so we won't be covering that for now. Let's move on.
Okay.
Next, the mount status display. This shows the status of all external mounts on the hull, which could be weapons, defense systems, or utilities.
Is it highlighted if I hover over them? No. Would be nice.
Currently, all of our mounts show green with a black slash, indicating they're operational but idle. If you're ever confused at what a color or a symbol means, you can hover over the color status icon with your mouse to see what's going on. Lastly, we have the posture controls. These define how the ship will operate. From here, you can control maneuvers, which sensor systems are enabled, and toggle specific defensive systems.
Yep.
Right now, I've disabled most of these so we don't toggle something by mistake, but we'll go over these systems later. So you know how the interface works, but what about issuing an order to a ship?
Yeah, that would be good.
The ANS Small Beginnings is reporting that their drives are online, so we'll get that frigate into a nearby position. Select the ANS Small Beginnings and open the action menu by right-clicking anywhere in the battle space. On the left side of the menu, select the Move or Movement submenu to see all available movement commands. The POS or Position command will order the warship to move to a position and hold there. Select position and move the Small Beginnings within 500 meters of Waypoint Atlas.
Okay.
This is the dial widget, and it will allow you to accurately select a position on the plane the ship is currently on by moving the cursor. You can left-click to
Control.
order or right-click to cancel.
Control.
Change the elevation,
Change the.
hold left control, and move your cursor up or down. You
Ah.
can also issue waypoints by holding left shift and marking a path. The order will only be confirmed when left shift is released and you click again. Don't forget, if you need to get a better view, you can still hold the left mouse button to angle your view even while the dial is open. When you're ready, lay in a course for the Small Beginnings to position itself near Waypoint Atlas.
Even the there the name is written on the ship. And then okay, I thought the one would be like the numbers of the ship, but I think it's just cosmetics maybe, or like first fleet or something. But interesting that quite a detailed game, is similar to what was the other actually naval game, like the Water Navy game, Naval Command, Cold War or something. which has also very in-depth systems with. I cannot look it up currently because my internet is down. That's a fun fact. But I think we have to move
Aye, aye,
more
Commander.
there.
We're moving.
Because like when I was first trying skirmish with a
In
friend,
the future, you can also use the M key as a shortcut to issue move to position orders.
when I was playing it with a friend, I didn't know how to like change the heights, so I was constantly like, why are the ships so high? I cannot. So I was, yeah, confusion.
Now let's talk formations. Because only one ship can be commanded at a time, formations are crucial for grouping your forces and keeping management simple. The ANS Dusty Tome is reporting they're ready for orders, so we'll have them fall in with the small beginnings. Select the Dusty Tome and open the action menu. The formation command can be found under the Move submenu and is issued with the FRM or formation button. You can also use the keyboard shortcut left shift plus F key. We first have to designate a ship as the guide ship. This ship will be the actual leader for the formation, and all warships following the guide ship will try to copy their current orders. Select the ANS small beginnings to mark it as the guide.
Okay.
Next, you'll need to designate a position for the Dusty Tome to take up in formation. The dial functions exactly like the movement command, but it's relative to the guide ship. Pick a position for the Dusty Tome to keep station on.
Let's do a little bit. Oops. Like this.
Falling into
The Dusty Tome will move into formation, and they'll try to follow the guide ship as best they can. If the guide ship is moving when the ship is ordered to form up with it, the guide will automatically slow down to allow the other ship to catch up.
Okay, so you don't have the annoying thing that the units have different speeds. Yeah.
You can have as many ships as you want in a formation, but keep in mind that there are drawbacks to having a lot of closely packed ships, beyond white-knuckled helmsmen. Spacing is key, and sometimes you need to split up.
Yeah, for example, if there's a lot of torpedoes inbound and you use Jeff, then there's still the risk of the torpedo hitting something if there's a lot of targets.
Ships near each other create a larger radar return, making stealth and evasion more difficult and allowing the enemy to detect you at a longer range. But we won't go over sensor coverage just yet. You can see the structure of your fleet and its formations in the ship list, which dynamically updates to show which ships are in formation with each other. Orders can be issued to your entire formation at once by opening the action menu in formation mode. This can be done by using left shift plus right click with any ship in the formation selected.
awaiting your orders, Commander.
F chip.
The action menu will indicate it's in formation mode by displaying the number of ships the order will be delivered to. For formation mode, don't worry about which ship you have selected, as the order will be delivered to all of them. Easier that way. Movement orders are a special case, as they will always be routed to the guide ship, and the whole formation will follow them.
Okay.
Now let's get the whole formation moving in a direction. The Drive Course command, found in the Move submenu as the CRS or Course button, will order a ship or formation to travel in a certain direction indefinitely. Select the Drive Course command now. Do not issue the order just yet. When it comes to picking directions in space, you'll use the Sphere widget. It's similar to the Dial widget from before, but allows for choosing directions more uniformly. It can be a little tricky at first, so take your time and get a feel for it. Moving your mouse cursor around will position the target on the surface of the sphere. By holding left control, you will log the direction and be able to change the radius. This is useful for weapons, as you'll see in a later lesson, but for choosing a course, we really only care about direction. Know that the cursor will remain on one side of the sphere, even if you pan the view. The initial side is determined by where your mouse was relative to the ship when you first opened the widget. If you need to switch the side, hold left control and draw the radius back through the center until it's on the opposite side. Get some practice moving the cursor around now, as selecting a direction or position in 3D space can be very disorienting at first. When you're ready, issue the order to get the formation underway in the given direction.
Ah, okay. Ah, okay, yeah, that's quite practical. Like keeping control and then you're coming out at the other side. Because like otherwise it's a bit difficult to, if you want to go like in, not in this direction, but like this direction. Ah, and also the cursor changes. Like this one is like a square now and one is a circle. Nice. Yeah. Then what was the size again? Also control. Okay. That's
Moving out.
The formation will now drive the course until told to do otherwise. Careful not to lose attention and let them get too far. We've had an incident in the past, and I'm not going to fill out more paperwork.
crushing against an asteroid. Maybe.
Lastly, let's break the dusty tome back off from the formation. To do so, all you need to do is select the ship and issue a standard movement order to it. That will override its order to keep in formation.
Tome M. Let's move here.
We're underway.
Well, congratulations! That completes your first lesson in maneuvering ships in the battle space. We'll cover more advanced topics like weapons employment and tactical view in the next lesson. I'll see you back at the academy.
Ah, battle over. Exit anytime. Technically, can I? Yeah, okay. With space you can have... Why is the dots there? Okay. The space you can get into the tactics vision. The trait is like thing. So we lost nothing and won everything. And single player campaign with Admiral tutorial select SN2 weapons employment. Understanding of the vital tactical view and how to properly engage targets with ship-mounted weapons are paramount to a proper fighting force in the fleets. Yes. Otherwise, we would be more of a transport. Small beginnings and dusty tomes. I guess we still have the previous ships, more or less. Mission summary. Alliance Network, internal message servers. All messages aren't monitored. You have one message from Hazel Ash. From the interface, weapons control is as simple as point and click. Well, maybe not that simple, but it's easier than having to run a command down the line. Academy Command has authorized you for your basic weapons trial, so we will begin going over targeting, gunnery, and basic missile usage. It will be fun. Yes, explosions.
Now comes my favorite part, weapons and how to use them.
One little sip from the tea.
Don't worry about that red contact over in the distance. It's a decommissioned frigate that's been tugged out here for target practice.
Okay.
Before we get to weapons, we need to learn about the tactical view. You can switch between tactical and normal views by pressing spacebar.
Yep.
The view controls here are the same as before, but you can zoom out much further and get a better idea of the situation in the battle space. Take
Yep.
a moment to look around now.
You also have like directions, which is quite
The tactical
practical.
view provides you with a lot of information that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise. It's your primary way of knowing what's happening around you. You'll be using it a lot.
It's quite practical in case it's like multiplayer, like from this or that direction as enemies. So you can give like actual callouts.
The range plane shows you both elevation of targets and their distance from a given point. When no ships are selected, it sits at the center of the battle space. Select the small beginnings now to see how the plane changes.
At the ready, Commander.
Take
So
note
it's
that the range
relative.
plane moved to center on that ship. It'll also track with it. All ranges will be indicated relative to your currently selected ship.
I think the distances here are in meters. Yeah. This is in thousands increments, so this is 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000.
Notice that the line from the enemy track to the range plane has a slight curve. This is because elevation and range are not directly related, so the contact's distance on the plane must be projected onto a sphere.
Yeah.
This layout makes it easy to determine the range of a target by looking at the position of the plane relative to your selected ship's capabilities.
Yes.
The dotted lines represent maximum ranges of your ship's systems. Red indicates offensive range, blue is sensor range, and defensive systems are green.
Okay, I don't have defenses, I guess. And we can technically engage further than we can see. But I think we also have guns. No. Technically the ships is also guns. But I don't see the range of it.
Waiting for your orders, Commander.
Or withdraw line.
Send your traffic.
Okay.
Gotcha.
While there are common ship configurations found throughout the fleet, most ships have some unique capability. The ANS Small Beginnings is configured with 2 Mark 62 twin-barrel 120mm cannons and a 16-cell vertical missile launcher.
Yeah, VLS, vertical launch system, technically.
I'm unlocking your weapon systems now, so let's put gunnery to the test with some tried and true naval fire. There are several ways to target weapons. The fastest and simplest is by shooting directly at the sensor track. To do this, right-click the red sensor track to bring up the action menu in track mode. The action menu will indicate it is in track mode by displaying the targets and track number in the space. It will automatically open the weapons list if there are any weapons on the ship. The active targeting mode is shown at the top of the list. Right now we are in track mode indicated by TRK. We'll talk about other modes later. Select the cannons from the weapon list and light up the target.
Okay.
Take him out.
Automatically rolling to have the best. I want to track the.
Definitely seeing some hits there. Looking good.
Yes, so.
Go ahead, Command.
It's automatically rotating, so it can use the most amounts of weapons. I think we can. Yes. Build it and then. Oh.
If the guns can't hit a target, the ship will automatically roll itself to get currently active weapon on angle on the target.
Yep.
This is called unmasking. Right now you'll notice that our fire is pretty inaccurate. This is because our targeting solution isn't using a fire control lock. The red dot jumping around near the track shows where our sensors think the target is.
Okay.
At the ready, Commander.
Let's improve our targeting accuracy by locking the target with our bullseye fire control radar, located on the top of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
To do this, right-click the track and select the LCK, or lock, at the top of the action menu. You can also use the X key keyboard shortcut.
Ah, okay.
Zeroing in.
Can we identify it? No. Okay. It's still dead.
Send your traffic.
Notice the new icon on the target. This
Mhm.
indicates that the target is locked on and is providing much better accuracy and increased update rate on the target. Remember, not all ships have fire control radar, and you'll only be able to get a lock with ships that have them equipped. Right now we are shooting armor-piercing, AP, shells at the target. Armor-piercing is effective on armor plating, but will only deal damage to internal components directly in the shell's path once it punctures the hull.
Okay.
While any damage is a good thing, we can deal even more damage by switching the shell type to high explosive, dealing damage to a wide area in the target's internals. We use high explosive, HE shells, against targets of appropriate size or smaller, or larger targets with heavy armor damage. HE shells cause much less damage to armor, but penetration will explode inside and do damage to all nearby components and personnel.
Ah, okay. And how do we switch?
To switch to HE shells, first open the action menu in track mode by right-clicking the track.
Yeah.
In the weapons list, next to the cannons entry, click on the ammunition icon to open the ammunition list.
Ah,
Click
okay.
the 120mm HE shell option to select it. The ammo switch is now pending and will only be executed if a new fire order is given. To begin firing the new ammo type, click the weapon group to confirm the ammunition change.
Ah, okay, so I have to click this one again. Technically. Do I have to give the new...
Take him out.
Now we'll select
Ah,
small beginnings
now.
and watch what it's up to. The mounts display shows the ship's cannons are firing and cycling. When the yellow bar is filled, the cannon will fire again. We can also see that the fire controls radar is solid green, indicating it's active and it has an active lock.
Ah, the bullseye radar, yeah.
Here's the active orders list, showing an icon for each order the ship is currently executing. Right now we have an order to fire our guns and an order to lock the target. Have the small beginnings hold fire and break their lock on by right-clicking on the order icons to cancel them.
Okay, interesting.
And that's the basics of gunnery. The key thing is to know what ammunition to use, especially as your target takes more damage to warrant the big stuff. But what if you don't have a sensor track?
Mm-hmm.
Take a look at your ship's hulls and you'll notice the 4 white octagons on the sides. These are radar panels and provide coverage for their respective sector of space. There's also a central control module inside the ship which track what these panels see.
Mm-hmm.
When panels are damaged or destroyed, you'll lose coverage in that area. Similarly, if the radar controller is destroyed, you'll lose all coverage in all directions. Obviously, fighting blind is not a good thing.
Okay.
But that won't put you out of the fight just yet. Direct fire weapons like cannons can fall back on visual targeting, where the crew will provide targeting data to your guns using onboard optics. Some weapons like missiles can't do this, however.
Ah, okay. Missiles are a bit important.
I've ordered your crew to disable the radar. Take a moment and observe what happens. You don't want the first time you're operating without radar to be the real deal.
Yep.
With sensors disabled, you will now see visual contacts when you have one of your ships selected, and nothing when no ship is selected. Visual contacts are only useful to the ship that actually sees the target, unlike the sensor track, which was shared across all ships.
How can we help today, Commander?
Hey.
We're ready whenever you are.
Thing is, they don't see anything, ironically enough.
If you don't see anything, you'll need to move within visual range, about 3,200 meters. I've created a marker in the general area for your reference. That won't happen in actual battle.
Okay.
You can fire on visual contacts the same way you did with the sensor tracks. Use visual targeting to fire at the target ship with the small beginnings guns again.
Moving out.
More beginnings, guns again. Okay. Should be soon and range. Not now. Yeah. No. That. I wanted to switch out of that. But then, yeah, wait. Ah, now you have. Okay. Now. Click. Rotate the target of visual targeting. Yeah, here the torpedoes, the hurricane is not able to fire.
It'll be done, Commander.
Let's see, what are you?
In a situation like this, you can imagine things are not going too well for you, but you'll at least still be a threat, so don't feel too cut up if your sensors go dark.
The shaky divide.
Now missiles. The ships in this fleet carry two variants of the SGM-2 series anti-ship cruise missiles, the Thunderhead and the Hurricane.
I'll right click. Hurricane. HE shaped. Command direct. Okay.
The Hurricane is a command-guided missile, which means it is guided to the target by a launching ship. If it misses the target, it will come back around and try again until it runs out of fuel, is shot down, or finally hits the target. Command missiles are very difficult to avoid. The only way to defeat them without destroying the missile itself is by destroying the launching ship or jamming its sensors or communication. Shoot the archer, as we say.
Yeah.
The downside is that the Hurricane must be shot at a sensor track. If you lose a track, the Hurricane will be useless.
Yeah, so in case the radar goes down, the radar panels, then we have a problem.
Let's launch 3 Hurricane missiles at the target. Start by opening the action menu in track mode on the target. Now select the SGM-225 Hurricane with the weapons list. This will queue up a single missile shot at the target and leave you with an active track selection widget. Multiple missiles can be fired with a single order using the left Alt key. Hold the left Alt key and click on the target to add one more missile per click. The number of queued missiles is shown next to your mouse cursor. To issue the order, you can either click the left mouse button with the left Alt key released, or you can press the Enter key. Once you've issued a launch order, you'll notice the mount status display will show the number of missiles that are being spun up for a launch.
PBLS is down here. Third shot. 2, 3. Oops, 4. I might. Can we jump on the. No, we cannot track the missile, sadly. 3, 4.
It takes time between when the target is selected and when the missile actually leaves the ship. This warm-up time is when the weapons control system brings the missile online, checks it for errors, establishes a reference frame for the IMU, uploads the target package, and more. Programming time varies by missile type, with more complicated missiles taking more time.
Okay.
The number of missiles that can be warmed up and programmed at the same time is referred to the ship's maximum salvo size, and it varies from ship to ship based on its configuration. These 2 frigates each have 4 channels, so 4 missiles can be fired at a time.
Okay.
Missiles are one of your most limited and precious resources,
Yes.
second only to the ships themselves. They are extremely powerful, but extremely scarce. You'll need to know when to use them, as it can't be replenished under normal circumstances outside of a port. A frigate like the Rains will be crippled by only 2 or 3 missile hits, but in a real fight it will often take more than that to penetrate an enemy's point defense, which are a serious threat to Hurricanes as they tend to fly in a direct path. The ANS Dusty Tome is carrying a different missile loadout. Select the ship now so we can take a look at it. This frigate is carrying Thunderheads, an active radar-guided missile, which means it carries its own method for finding targets, allowing it to seek targets by itself.
Okay. So in case the radar of this one is not so good. Or damaged, I think. But then you can also jam the radar, which is likely weaker on the missile than on the ship itself.
It can be targeted in the same way as the Hurricane missiles, but once it has left the tube, it's entirely autonomous. When it reaches the end of its path, it will activate its onboard seeker and begin searching for a target. The greatest benefit of active missiles is that they can be sent on complex waypoint paths, allowing for multi-angle strikes and even hitting targets behind asteroids. But we'll cover that when you get to your advanced missile trials.
Okay.
For now, let's just fire 3 Thunderhead missiles at the target as we did before with the Hurricanes.
Okay. Right click. On the head. Alt. 1, 2. And then Confirm. Bottom one there. On. Ah, okay, it has like in both VLS cells. The missiles. And I also think they are a bit slower than the Hurricanes.
As easy as it is to use active radar missiles, there are some downsides to their operation. The first is that the missile must find a target within the cone of its seeker in order to track and kill it. This makes evasive maneuvers such as course changes an easy way to defeat active missiles fired at long range, especially against fast-moving targets.
Yeah.
The second shortcoming is that active seekers are easy to decoy with chaff and other countermeasures, meaning more missiles need to be used in order to score a hit, as active missile radars are particularly sensitive to jamming and decoys.
Yes, I already
But that should do
mentioned.
it for your weapons trial. I'll have Fleet Logistics retrieve the dummy ship, and I recommend looking into all the weapons when you get your chance. I'll see you at the Academy.
Okay. Oh, quite interesting. I think this one has also a different radar than the other one. I think
How can we
this
help
one
today, Commander?
has the bullseye radar, and the other one has jamming radar. I think right click and then E-War. Okay, we don't have electronic warfare available. Okie. Then we eliminated already at 1904. It has 0 crew. It received 2820 damage, and most of the damage was from the small beginnings. Yeah, because of the guns plus the 4 missiles. Continue. But I think with that has been the first part of the Nebulous Fleet Command Steam Real-Time Strategy Fast demo. I will see you in the next part for another mission of the single player tutorial. If you want more videos like that, subscribe to my Plum with Fun World channel, or if you want to have more short, concise videos, then subscribe to my main channel, Plum with Fun. And with that, Plum out.